At the party, Olivia's friends had me cornered. One of them leaned close, smiling like she had a secret. "We heard you used to follow Olivia everywhere when you were little. People say you even claimed her as your wife whenever you played pretend. So tell us, do you still have a thing for her?" Everyone waited for my answer. I did not look at them. My gaze drifted to the far side of the room where Olivia stood quietly, pouring herself another drink. "That was ages ago," I said with a forced laugh. "I was a kid. I probably annoyed her more than anything." My fingers twisted the ring on my hand. "Besides, I moved on a long time ago. I am engaged now." The room fell silent, then a sharp crash snapped through the air. Olivia's glass lay shattered at her feet, wine soaking her shoes. Her eyes were rimmed red. For a moment, she looked as if she had forgotten where she was. I could have married her 6 years earlier. What she never learned was that every mischance had been planned by me. Because I woke up, I realized this world was a story, and not a kind one. Olivia was the heroine, Michael was the male lead, and I was the obsessive younger brother who only caused disasters. Our houses stood side by side, our families intertwined. Olivia and Michael were the same age, 3 years older than me. The three of us grew up together. She always treated me with a little extra care. I mistook that kindness for something deeper. Since the moment I could walk, she had been there, through scraped knees, school events, birthdays, heartbreaks. Loving her felt so natural that I cannot even name the moment it began. I remember playing pretend in the backyard. Olivia declared she was the mother, Michael was the father, and I was the baby. I threw a fit, smashing my toy truck on the patio. I was not going to be the baby. I wanted to be her husband. Michael teased me and nudged me forward. "Go ahead then, marry her." Olivia smiled, draped a red kitchen towel over her head, and called me her honey. I was 5. But watching her with that makeshift veil became the beginning of a 17-year dream. It ended during my junior year in college, on Valentine's Day. I was out with my roommate when I spotted them. Michael and Olivia, walking side by side. Olivia brushed a leaf from his hair with such gentle affection that my chest tightened. She bought him an expensive box of chocolates. My roommate nudged me. "She is giving him chocolates. Does he even know you are crazy about her?" And just like that, everything inside me cracked. People say falling is slow, but turning dark is instant. In that one moment, I felt like no one in the world cared about me. Jealousy starts small, then grows out of control. I refused to accept that she cared for someone who was not me. So, at my college graduation party, I slipped something into her drink. I found an excuse to leave early and took her to my place. As soon as the door shut, the drug overwhelmed her and she clung to me, pulling me toward the bedroom. Her kisses were frantic, her hands desperate. I felt elated and sick with fear. My plan was simple and awful. I wanted Michael to walk in and catch us. I thought that would force her to be mine. But in the middle of this terrible scheme, something snapped inside me. Suddenly, memories from years ahead flooded my mind. In that future, Olivia believed she had taken advantage of me, which pushed her into marrying me out of guilt. The marriage rotted quickly. When she learned the truth, her hatred grew so strong that one argument ended with me at the bottom of the stairs, unable to walk. Michael never found happiness. He died young during a trip hit by a car. The day Michael died, Olivia fled the house in shock, leaving me alone in bed, too sick to get up. I died there. Only after death did the truth settle in. This world had been written by someone who enjoyed tragedy, and my jealousy lit the fuse for every ruined life. Because of me, nobody got a happy ending. What are you thinking about? You cannot zone out now. Olivia's strained voice pulled me back. Her breath brushed my ear. I lifted a hand to her cheek, and tears fell before I could stop them. Her eyes were beautiful and soft, but I knew she was looking at a version of me that did not exist. Her expression shifted from desire to confusion. "Why are you crying?" she whispered. "Do you not want me?" Of course I did. I wanted her more than anything. I loved her to the core of my being. But even if I was selfish, I was not cruel enough to let everyone die for my jealousy. "I am sorry," I said, voice breaking. "This is wrong. We cannot do this." She blinked in confusion, the drug already dragging her mind under. Then the front door opened. Michael walked in with her best friend, Zoe. They froze at the sight of Olivia on top of me. Michael reacted first, grabbing a broom and swinging it wildly to push her away. Chaos exploded around us. And I finally saw the scale of the disaster I had created. It was not her, I shouted, scrambling to cover myself. It was my fault. I confessed everything. Silence fell. Their expressions were hollow, almost frightened, as if they no longer recognized me. Zoe pointed at me with a trembling hand. Do you realize what you have done? This is a crime. I know, I whispered. I will accept the consequences. But Olivia stepped between us. He is still young. He did something stupid, not something malicious. Let's not destroy his life. Young. Zoe yelled. He is 22. When will you stop shielding him? My tears blurred everything. I reached out to check if Olivia was alright, but she recoiled as if my hand burned her skin. Michael shook his head. I will take her. Stay here and think about what you did. That was when I finally understood what it meant to lose every ounce of affection people once had for me. The emptiness between us was colder than any punishment. From that day forward, my life became a long attempt to make up for the damage I caused. The rumors spread like wildfire. Everyone knew about the incident. The guy so obsessed with Olivia that he had drugged her. I bombarded her with apologies over text, sent gifts, and asked Michael to pass them along. A few days later, a single reply appeared on my phone. I'm not angry, but if you like someone, just tell them. You don't need to do things like this. By then, I was already on a train to New York City. Thank you, and I'm truly sorry, I typed back. I promise I'll never put you in a situation like that again. After sending it, I removed my SIM card, cut it in half, and replaced it with a new one. Before leaving, I told Michael he could contact me if he wanted, but under no circumstances was he to mention Olivia's name. I didn't want to be the villain anymore. I finished my internship, landed a full-time role, and started carving out a modest life in the city. I thought I would never see Olivia again. I should have known better. She was brilliant, unstoppable. Soon, she was transferred to my company's New York office as the new COO. The day she was introduced, my blood ran cold. Fate was playing a cruel joke. I watched as she walked through the office, commanding respect and admiration with every step, and disappeared into her corner office. Thankfully, she didn't notice me. A colleague whistled lowly. Finally, a boss who's wow. He nudged me. Hey, Ethan. She's your type, right? I gave a hollow nod. Yeah, my type. My manager tapped me on the back. Don't even think about it. I heard some guy tried to drug her once. She's got zero tolerance for creeps now. My stomach sank. My darkest memory had resurfaced for public scrutiny. Another colleague whispered, horrified. Who the hell does that? I just wish the floor would swallow me whole. Logic said I should quit immediately. But the job market was brutal. I needed this. Even if it was a hidden corner of the office, my existence barely noticed. We were on the same floor, but our paths didn't cross. For 2 months, I existed like a ghost. Then Zoe showed up, visiting Olivia. Olivia was in a meeting, so Zoe wandered around and, of course, spotted me. Ethan? Is that you? Her voice carried across the office. Holy, you followed her to New York? Unbelievable. That's obsession level next. Every head turned. I felt exposed like my skin was being whipped. My voice cracked. No, that's not like that. I worked here first. I didn't know this would happen. The conference room door opened. Olivia stepped out, frozen the instant she saw me. Ethan? What are you doing here? Before I could speak, Zoe pointed. Seriously, look at him. He's here for you. This is insane. I'm posting this. Olivia's hand trembled as she held her folder. Humiliation clouded her eyes. It must have been revolting to see me here. Ethan, she said, strained, wait until lunch. I have something urgent now, but we'll talk then. She turned, following the CEO into his office. A co-worker leaned toward me, eyes wide. So, what's going on with you and the new COO? I pleaded silently at Zoe. Please don't. She rolled her eyes and left. I couldn't face Olivia. Courage had abandoned me. All I could see was the horrifying vision of my future self, helpless, alone, and broken. I went straight to my manager and resigned. My exit was quick. Within an hour, my desk was cleared, and I walked away from that building forever. I had to change my number again. I felt like I was running from myself. From New York, I fled to Chicago. I was smarter this time, checking Olivia's travel plans and leaving the city before she arrived. Years later, the company offered me a role overseas in London. At last, I could stop running. 6 years passed. I rose from struggling to comfortable in London. I returned to the States only because Michael fell ill. He threw a welcome home party. And there, to my shock, were Olivia and Zoe. 6 years had made Olivia calmer, more assured. Time had not aged her, but it had deepened her presence, giving her a quiet, magnetic confidence. Ethan, she said softly, smiling. Welcome back. That must have been a long flight. There was no surprise in her eyes. It felt as though time had smoothed over the jagged edges of the past. She and Michael had never married. My little stunt had altered their lives, too. Some friends had families, others were still navigating life. Michael had a stable city government role and had become department head. Olivia had climbed her company to the top, now owning multiple apartments in New York. Hours into the party, everyone else was tipsy, but not Olivia. She hadn't touched a drop. Zoe nudged her. Seriously, why all the apartments? Should let me crash in one sometimes. Olivia just smiled, glancing at me. Ethan isn't married either, she said. He has a place in London. Maybe you could ask him to help. The sudden attention made my heart lurch. Old friends swarmed, grilling me. Ethan, you've always been obsessed with Olivia. Are you still in love with her? All eyes turned to me. I looked at Olivia, still smiling as if the question had no impact. I was just a kid, I said, shaking my head. I caused her so much trouble. I moved on years ago. I touched the silver band on my left hand. Besides, I'm getting married soon. You'll all be invited. The room went quiet, then the sharp crack of breaking glass. Olivia stared at her ruined heels, her drink spilled over them. Her eyes glistened red, and she seemed frozen, unable to look away. She muttered a quiet apology, her voice tight at the edges. She said her hand slipped, then hurried off to clean the mess. Michael leaned toward me once she stepped away. Since when are you seeing someone? The part of me that had learned to survive through lies answered smoothly. Half a year. She is from London. When Olivia returned, she who had refused every drink all evening poured herself one glass of wine, then another. Before long, the gathering came to an end. She stopped in front of me. Ethan, you are not planning to let me walk home by myself, right? I hesitated. She was clearly intoxicated. Leaving her alone felt wrong. So I walked her to her building. The entire way there, she said nothing. She fumbled with her keys at the door. I shifted awkwardly. Well, you are home. I should get going. Without warning, she grabbed my wrist and yanked me inside. I stumbled, arms catching her instinctively. The door slammed behind us, and she pressed me against it. The apartment was dark except for the soft street glow filtering in. Her breath was warm with wine as she leaned close, and every nerve in my body stood on edge. Olivia, what are you? I began. I did not finish. She kissed me, a cold, urgent kiss that crashed over me before I could breathe. Why did you lie to everyone? She whispered against my mouth. Why pretend you were taken? You are the one who stirred this up again. Why am I always the one chasing after you? Olivia, stop. I need to go. She wrapped her arms around me tighter. Her voice cracked on a soft sob. You are cruel, Ethan. She lifted my hand and pressed it to her chest, her heartbeat racing under my palm. You should not have left me like that 8 years ago. You should have taken responsibility. Something snapped inside my head. Even through the fabric of her dress, her warmth seared into my skin. I tried to pull away, but she held my hand firmly. You are drunk, I said. She leaned closer. This is how you touched me back then, remember? Her breath skimmed my cheek. Why are you so shy now? You were not gentle with me before. The memories resurfaced too sharply, the hazy, desperate moment neither of us liked to recall. Shame twisted in my chest. You do not have a girlfriend, she whispered. Someone who is taken would not react like this. She kissed me again, slow this time, tasting the hesitation on my lips. Finish what you started 8 years ago. Her eyes glinted in the dark. She tugged me away from the door until I sank onto the sofa with her tangled around me. It was only when her hand drifted lower, waking something dangerous inside me, that my mind snapped back. Panic split through the haze. Olivia, no. We should not do this, I said. My voice was thin. She pushed me back with surprising strength. Am I not doing it right? She whispered, her voice unsteady. Why are you trying to leave? Do you hate me that much? Hate her? Impossible. She was powerful and brilliant and strong, yet in that moment she was fragile in a way that broke me. But something was wrong. Something felt completely out of place. You love my brother, I said, barely believing the words myself. Her whole body stiffened. When did I ever say that? I stared at her. She had never said it. Not once. Her gaze shifted. Slowly, a smile bloomed, one part disbelief, one part triumph. You avoided me for years because you thought I was in love with Michael. She let out a breathy laugh. I never was. It has always been you. From the very beginning. Now that you know, can you please let me love you? My world tilted. I did not know what to trust. What was real? What was not? She kissed me again, and my mind filled with those terrible images from the book, the broken body, the lonely end. The phantom pain hit so sharply that it stole my breath. Terror jolted me to my feet. I told you I have a girlfriend, I said, backing away. I will not cheat. She laughed, humorless and razor bright. You did not seem to remember her when you kissed me back. Where was your conscience then? She was right. That made it worse. I am not a good person, I said. If I was, I would not have done what I did back then. This is just guilt showing up too late. Something inside her snapped. Her expression hardened. Maybe I should not have forgiven you so easily. Maybe you do need punishment. My pulse jumped. What are you going to do? She lunged forward and bit my collarbone. Hard. Pain sparked white through my vision as she sucked until the skin bruised. I shoved her back, desperate. Stop it. She stared up at me, hollow and furious. I do not believe you have a girlfriend, she said softly. If you really do, tell her to come find me. I grabbed my jacket and fled. You are being ridiculous, I snapped, then slammed the door behind me. Olivia had changed. The warm, steady girl from our past was gone, replaced by something sharper, darker, impossible to predict. Even the future I had seen, bleak as it was, did not show her like this. For the next few days, she appeared at my parents' house constantly. Zoe tagged along, and I had a sneaking suspicion she was interested in my brother. She always found a reason to sit near him, tell him stories, make him laugh. My neck was a disaster, covered in marks I could not explain. The weather was barely turning to autumn, and I was sweating under my turtlenecks. You look hot in that sweater, in the wrong way, Zoe said, raising a brow. Why not change? Michael, lounging on the couch, laughed. Leave him alone. His girlfriend is apparently passionate. These British girls have quite the appetite. He winked. I am afraid she might eat my brother alive. My face burned. Zoe giggled. That is good for a relationship. Keeps things spicy. I nearly choked. Olivia, across the room, laughed with bright delight. Later, when Zoe and Michael stepped onto the balcony, she came to sit beside me. So, you told your brother I am your girlfriend? Blood rushed to my cheeks. Of course not, I hissed. He walked in before I was dressed and saw the bruises. I had to blame someone. Zoe came back inside. I jerked away from Olivia on instinct. Zoe glanced between us. What are you two whispering about? She asked. Going for a walk, I said quickly. Olivia, at the same time, said, we were talking about his girlfriend's kissing skills. Silence spread like a fog. I stared at her in disbelief. She only smiled, serene and angelic. And also a walk. Let's get some fresh air. It will be good for Michael. We went outside. After a while, Zoe gasped dramatically. Michael, and I turned to look. She gave me a very enthusiastic thumbs up. She hurried over. I will take him from here, she said, linking her arm with Michael's. You take a break. And just like that, I found myself walking beside Olivia again. I broke the silence. What were you two talking about back there? You really want to know? Yes. She answered as if it were nothing. I told her I am your girlfriend, and that I am the one who marked your neck. For a moment, it felt like my entire body was on fire. Heat coursed from my scalp down through my chest. Why would you say that? I asked, voice tight. Because it's true. Did you really think you could fool your brother? He's the one who made sure you walked me home that night. He can see your social media, Ethan. He knows you don't have a girlfriend. I had no argument. She was right. Olivia exhaled. Besides, he texted me about it this morning. She held up her phone, showing a message from Michael. Michael, are you a vampire? You practically tore into Ethan's neck. Careful near the carotid. Do what you want, but leave his neck alone. Olivia's reply. Got it. I'll be gentler next time. Next time? My face burned hot with embarrassment. Ahead of me, Michael and Zoe both turned and gave me matching thumbs-ups. I questioned my own existence at that moment. Olivia stopped walking. Her voice softened. Ethan. 8 years have passed. It took me far too long to find the courage. Will you be my boyfriend? The world stilled around me. The wind died. The distant street sounds faded. All I could see was her, glowing in the sunlight. If this were the end of a story, it would be perfect. No, I said. We will not have a happy ending. I walked past her, past Michael and Zoe, quickening my pace. I didn't dare glance back. I was too afraid of seeing hope in her eyes. After that, Zoe still visited Michael daily, but Olivia stayed away. One evening, after helping Michael to his room for a nap, Zoe returned and sat across from me. Ethan, she said, eyes steady. Can we talk? Though she and Michael were close, she and I barely spoke. Her gaze was unwavering. Are you reincarnated? I blinked at her. What kind of question was that? Or a transmigrator? She pressed, tone even but firm. The meaning was clear. You know this world is a book, don't you? I whispered. Zoe didn't deny it. She let out a long, knowing sigh. I knew it. You woke up in it. I'm not a transmigrator, I said. I just woke up one day. She offered a sad, understanding smile. No wonder the story feels so different than you remember. Zoe told me everything. She had lived another life. In that life, she loved my brother but believed she wasn't good enough. Only someone perfect, like Olivia, could be with him. So she moved away, severed all ties, just as I had. She had never known I had drugged Olivia. She said Michael's car accident happened on the way to the airport to see Olivia after she learned the truth. Guilt consumed her until her life ended tragically. She had only discovered the story's reality after death. All the secondary characters are stuck watching the main plot unfold, she said, voice hard with resolve. Even if they feel, even if they suffer, the book treats them like NPCs. But I'm real. I grieve. I feel. Why should I step aside for a pre-written plot? This life, I stay by your brother's side. Then came a revelation that shook me to my core. You know, Olivia knew the drink was tampered with before she drank it. I warned her. The universe felt cruel and absurd in that moment. I'm not Olivia, Zoe clarified. I don't know why she did it. I only told her because she's my friend. I couldn't watch her walk into disaster. Even if she ended up with Michael, I had to tell her. Any other victory would have been hollow. She didn't say more. She only told me if I wanted the truth, I needed to hear it from Olivia herself. As I rose to leave, she said one last thing. You think you're the villain because of one terrible choice, don't you? What else would I be? She shook her head, bitter but wry. In the book, Olivia is the only one who dies of natural causes. That makes her the protagonist. The person with the deepest, defining bond to her is the hero. She and your brother? Childhood friends, nothing more. So tell me, who is the hero in her story? I hadn't seen Olivia in what felt like ages, and she wasn't answering her calls. I had no choice but to go to her apartment. When she opened the door, she was still in her work suit, clearly just home from the office. Sit, she said, her voice clipped. The memory of my rejection still lingered in her eyes, a quiet, heavy sadness weighing them down. If you despise me this much, why are you here? Is it urgent? I don't hate you, I said quickly, the words spilling out. For the first time, I needed her to understand what was in my heart. Her gaze softened for a moment, a flicker of hope, but it vanished just as fast. Right. You don't hate me. You still don't love me. Olivia, Zoe told me the truth. You knew about the drink all those years ago, didn't you? Olivia froze, then nodded slowly, deliberately. I knew, or at least suspected. But it didn't matter if it was drugged or not, she said, voice raw with held-back emotion. I drank it willingly. That's why I was never angry with you. What I never understood was why you were the one who ran. Tears welled in her eyes. Zoe said we're all characters in a book. Did her actions change the story? Did they make you stop loving me? My own chest tightened. No, I said, voice thick. It was never that. I never stopped loving you. I told her everything. The visions of the future I had seen, the life Zoe had actually lived. It sounded impossible, but Olivia had already heard parts from Zoe and accepted it without question. So, you thought we would destroy each other? She asked, laughing through her tears. That's why you ran? Why you stayed away? Zoe told me that if you can feel pain, you're real. I admitted. She was supposed to be an NPC, but she fought for her own life. She said I was the hero of the story, and I don't want to run anymore. Olivia collapsed into my arms, sobs shaking her body. She kept apologizing, words muffled against my chest. I'm sorry, she whispered, voice trembling. In that other life, I failed you. I let you be alone. I was awful, and it's why you couldn't come close. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I'm sorry for the time we lost. Ethan, please can you give me another chance? I brushed the tears from her cheeks, guilt so heavy I nearly staggered under it. She deserved these words, not me. I was the one who hurt her. I was the one who ran for 8 years. Olivia, I whispered, my voice thick with emotion. Thank you for waiting for me. Slowly, we fell into place, as if we had always belonged together. The day we finally announced we were a couple, more good news followed. Michael was officially in remission. He shared his dream of traveling the world, and I handed him the keys to my London flat. He glanced at the keys, then back at me. And you? I can always go back, I said, fingers intertwining with Olivia's. But right now, I looked at her, at the life I had spent running from, and finally felt grounded. I want to stay here.